Hey guys, Brisk here. In today's company and stock analysis video, we're going over Airbnb. Airbnb is an America-based online marketplace for lodging, primary homestays, and vacation rentals. Headquartered in San Francisco, California, Airbnb has listings available via the website and mobile app for places all across the world. Unfortunately though, the company is regulated by many jurisdictions, including but not limited to the European Union, San Francisco, and New York City. Founder Brian Chesky has a holistic vision to compete with the hotel industry, and has successfully done so. There is no doubt that Airbnb is a disruptive company in the lodging and vacation rental space. However, as I'll get into later on in this video, the company financials do not support its valuation, at least currently. Looking at Airbnb stock on a daily basis, we can see all the price action from when the stock IPO'd to where it's at currently. On the chart, you can't really see the 200-day moving average because there really isn't much data to support the 200-day moving average, at least not yet. So what we're going to go ahead and do is get the 50-day moving average and the 10-day moving average. Let's go ahead and get a study over here. Let's add a moving average study, the simple moving average. Then we can go ahead and edit this for 10 days. Now let's go ahead and edit this 50-day moving average just to make sure that we're not getting confused over here. Get this color over here and click OK. So now we can see the moving average studies right on the graph itself. You guys know the deal. Let's go ahead and get some key price levels. Get the absolute top, the absolute bottom, and some key levels in between. Once you figured out your consolidation ranges, it's time to zoom in on a closer time frame to see exactly what the stock is doing. Looking at Airbnb on a closer time frame, you can see that the price went from around $189 all the way down to 134-ish. The stock looks like it's forming either a double bottom or an inverse cup and handle bearish pattern. It's very important to keep in mind that this 130.28 level is extremely indicative of whether the stock will be bullish or bearish, especially with earnings coming up in August. It's very important to see how the price action is around this level. If Airbnb stock uses this level as a support, it turns extremely bullish. However, if it zooms past the support level and goes down and makes it a resistance level, it turns very, very bearish. At that point, it'll probably start to test the all-time low values. Short-term sentiment, I'm quite bearish on it. This is just due to the momentum. As you can see, there are plenty of red candlesticks over here with rising red volume. The MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator, indicates that there still may be more bearish activity before it starts to become more bullish. Let's zoom back out and show you exactly what it means to have an inverse cup and handle. An inverse cup and handle is where the graph looks like an actual upside down cup followed by a nice handle, which I can show you guys right here, where it tests some levels above and then leads to its eventual demise. This is one of the patterns that I'll be looking out for. Airbnb stock for the remainder of July might be bullish, but you need to keep in mind that there have to be some certain resistance and support levels. From here, I wouldn't be surprised if Airbnb starts to make moves in this direction. It's all about looking at confirmation, figuring out where your support and resistance levels are, and figuring out a nice area for you to go long on. Right now, there's just way too much volatility in the market to figure out an exact price, and plus there's lots more room for it to drop. However, you never want to be just focused on technicals. The fundamentals are key. So let's take a look at the fundamental analysis of it. Looking at the stats section for Airbnb, we can see that the intraday market cap is around $82 billion, down from $116 billion just a couple of months ago. Scrolling down, Airbnb does not make a profit yet. The negative profit margin does not give you a return on assets. Currently, Airbnb makes a revenue of around $3.4 billion, and its quarterly revenue growth is around 5%. It's not the craziest of revenue growths, but it's still a growth nonetheless. The nice bright figure on its balance sheet is its total cash position, as it's sitting on $6.5 billion of cash. That gives the company a little bit of buffer room for its institutional investors. Its total debt is around $2.4 billion, and that's kind of offset by its current cash position. Debt to equity ratio, considering the fact that it doesn't have many shares outstanding, is a whopping 77.77. The current ratio is around a 1.66, suggesting that its current assets are 1.66 times its liabilities. I also want to go over here and check the volatility index and 52-week change. And the 52-week change for the S&P 500 is a positive 33.07%. However, the 52-week change for Airbnb is a negative 7.19%. As you can see, the 50-day moving average is sitting around $147. If we look at TD Ameritrade Think or Swim, we can see that the 50-day moving average is sitting at around $100. 145. More specifically, 147. This is probably a little bit more updated. Looking at some share statistics, you can see that the average volume on a 3-month basis is around 8.42 million. The average volume on a 10-day basis is around 6.03 million, which suggests that Airbnb is losing a little bit of investor sentiment. Another bright spot from its share statistics is the amount of shares that it has outstanding versus the amount of shares that are short. The short ratio is around a 1.32, which doesn't mean that it's as risky. There are only 45.8% of shares that are held by institutions, suggesting that there is a little bit of wiggle room for this to go a little bit lower. Let's scroll on over and take a look at who's holding Airbnb. As you can see, Capital Research Global Investors hold around 3% of all the total value, followed by Wellington Management Group, FMR, and the Vanguard Group. You guys know the Vanguard Group, they're everywhere. Scrolling on over to our summary section, I want to see exactly what investors think about it. A lot of people believe that Airbnb is overvalued. Performance outlook is a short-term bearish, mid-term bearish, and long-term neutral. For the month of July, one analyst believes that Airbnb is a sell. However, based on overall recommendation ratings, lots of analysts believe that Airbnb is a buy. Some price targets include an average of 172 and a high estimate of around 240. All in all, Airbnb is disruptive in nature and provides an entire perspective to individuals to comfortably stay at their vacation destinations. Posing a major threat to the hotel industry is a great aspect to have as a company, as Airbnb will definitely be looking to expand. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to ring those bells. I'll see you guys in the next video. Brisk out.